Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to the Citizen channel as we look back at a game at Craven Cottage, don't we, against Fulham on 13th of March 2021 and 8 p.m. Kick-off there. Fulham 0, Manchester City 3. That'll do, won't it? Yeah, that'll do. We'll have a bit of a chat about the half-time feelings a bit later as we go through this. Of course, we're going to have our usual match analysis today with Phil Bannage's goal recordings. We'll stick his ratings in with the Simon Bukowski's and my player ratings as well when we have a look at that. We'll have all the quirky stats, of course. Any conclusions we can make. And of course, what I'll do, I'll try and put in the link below if you sort of just want to dip into the player ratings, the Manchester Evening News player ratings, etc. I'll put a little timing on below so you can just, if you want to look at the match summation or the player ratings or anything, the conclusions, anything like that, I'll try and put the main things below so you can just shoot to it if you haven't got time to watch the whole vlog, because it's going to be quite a long one again, I think, today, up towards half an hour, so it is a bit long. So I'll put a little thing below so you can go to what you might want to just have a quick listen to rather than have to go through everything. So hopefully that will help. I used to do that, but it's time constraints, isn't it? But I will try to do it, of course. Yeah, so please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button. I was trying to get to 800 by the end of March. I'm still about 40 odd short, and we're sort of running out of time now. So if you can help me and please sub or tell your mates, City supporting mates about it, that'd be fantastic. Because it'd be nice to get to it. I've always hit my targets, but I'm struggling just a little bit at the moment. So please help us out if you've not already subbed. That'd be fantastic. Check all my playlists for all my City stuff, loads of City stuff, and I have a little film and TV channel if that's of any interest as well. If it's not, don't worry about it. But if you're interested in films and TV, just have a check of that out. There's loads of stuff on there, reviews and information, vlogs, etc. And if you'd have to follow us or friends on Facebook and Twitter, please check my links on screen. And I do check every 3 or 4 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. Right, comments, yeah, leave your comments. All your comments, fantastic. Get lots and lots and lots of comments. It's really nice as the subscribers grow, obviously. It's great to hear from you all, old and new, old like me or new ones, whoever you are. Let me know your comments on this game or City in general. And please, of course, if you've no time for a comment, just give us that little thumbs up. We get about 20 for these City vlogs, but if you can, 20 to 30, so let's push that up a little bit. If you can help me out by just giving us a little thumbs up if you enjoy what I try and do here. Right, the match, yeah. Officials, we'll talk about them later. Andre Mariner was the referee, of course. His Lionels, Scott Ledger and Simon Long. The fourth official was Robert Jones. On VAR was Mr. Craig Pawson. Not much use for him yesterday, thankfully. And assistant VAR was Andy Halliday. Yeah, 7 changes. You know me, once we get over 5 changes, I do panic a little bit. And I did wonder, obviously there's a lot of wonder on the internet of this team yesterday, wasn't there? But hey, we have to trust in Pep, don't we? And sometimes, most times, it pays off, but not always. But yeah, so 7 changes seemed a lot to me. You know me, we make 2 or 3 is fine for me. We've got a Borussia Mönchengladbach game coming up, which we're all the way ahead 2-0 in, and we've got an FA Cup games, and then we've got a rest, haven't we? So I don't know. Yeah, it is odd, but hey, he knows best. He knows how to play. I don't know what the condition the player's in. I'm not the fitness coach, so yeah, absolutely. I should just ignore it and just go whatever Pep says. Yeah, the starting 11: Ederson, Cancelo, Stones, Diaz, Laporte, Mendy, Rodri, Bernardo, Torres, Jesus and Aguero. Interesting lineup. Subs, strong subs, Ben, Stefan Walker, Gundogan, Zinchenko, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Mahrez, Foden and Garcia. Yeah, I got 6 correct, so I'll try and get 7 or 8, so I'm not even going to comment on the fact I only got 6 correct. I mean, I think most people probably only got about 5 or 6 correct yesterday on that starting 11. Some of the talk pre-match on social media. Bradley at Bradley MCFC 98. Actually a very good balance in the team tonight. Bit odd the formation change, but Pep knows what's best. Absolutely, mate. You were spot on there. Tinners at live_love_MCFC. Can't make out what that lineup is all about. Well, we probably couldn't for 45 minutes, could we? But it sort of helped from about 47 minutes. Stephen, of course, at Stephen McInerney said, genuinely no idea how this will work, but I'm pretty sure Pep's been dying to try it for ages. Hey, there you go. A bit more on that later. Crookie at Crook DPC. Reckon a lot of City fans are going to be surprised when it turns out John Stones is playing as a false 9. Well, you were absolutely spot on there, Crookie. He probably was playing as a false 9. And of course, I had to show this little tweet on screen there from Ivor Anthony Anthony at just one man. That's his latest account. He seems to get a lot of accounts closed and has to open more accounts. But yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea either, Anthony. But there you go. It's certainly my cup of tea. I take all the good and the bad. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, and it's obviously the Tales of the Unexpected. So I had to do a little image back. I had to adapt it slightly. So I've created now the Tales of the Unexpected. So please, you'll be seeing that for the next few games, I think. But thanks, Ivor, Anthony, for giving that inspiration for me to do that. But yeah, and Ivor posted that very familiar logo for the old TV series Tales of the Unexpected. One of my favourites, and I think of old guys my age probably did like that. Right, on to the match. Here we go. Match summation and stats. First 45 minutes, of course, we'll go on to Phil Banerjee when a goal appears. 18 minutes, yeah, it was a long time, wasn't it? A good chance for Torres, but it made it easy for the keeper. That was the tail of this first half. I think we did have chances, but we didn't really sting that keeper's hands, did we? Areola, was it his name? 34 minutes, Bernardo does everything right, didn't he? As he jinks through, battles his way through into the box, but lays it back superbly, doesn't he, for... was it Rodri? And again, it was just gave Areola time to actually... Oh, no, that was it. Sorry, he jumped through, didn't he? And he actually, rather than bury it, he sort of tried to catch him out at the near post, Bernardo. But obviously, it was that weaker shot that obviously Areola had time to adjust himself. So there you go. I mean, it was such a shame. This is Bernardo at the moment. He needs to get back and do some extra training on shooting. I've told him that. His heading's improved, but he needs to improve his shooting because, you know me, and Bernardo... buddies out, we like that. 45 minutes, yeah. Aguero had an okay chance, but again, another comfortable save for Areola, and that was a tail of the first half. I think we had three sort of chances, but they all went straight at Areola, unfortunately. Half-time 0-0. This is what I wrote down now. I'm not going to doctor it. This is what I said. Something has to change, or this has 0-0 written all over it. I can only describe that as dross, which I did. 7 changes, creativity lacking. You can't tell one team is well clear at the top and one is in the bottom 3. I don't think you could. As though Pep has picked a team to give Fulham a chance. And that was my half-time musings. But I did say, obviously, perhaps it'll take a half to grow into this formation. And fingers crossed we'll be all right second half. So there you go. I did temper that because I did have a couple of reactions, but I mean, if anyone said that first half wasn't dross, I mean, I just thought it was. I just thought it was a terrible first half opinion. On to the second half, of course. Within 2 minutes, it all began to fall apart for Fulham, didn't it? And thankfully for us, at last we see why they're in the bottom 3. 47 minutes, of course, we'll go over to Phil Banerjee. 1-0. City took the lead 76 seconds into the second half after winning a free kick out on the left. Cancelo's in-swinging free kick was behind the Fulham defence. John Stones steered the ball in with the inside of his left foot. If he had not got there, Ruben Diaz would have. It was superb delivery from Cancelo, a clever bit of movement by Stones with his slight stutter in his run, and his finish was a superb example of technique. Thanks, Phil. There we go. That was 1-0. 48 minutes, yeah, Stones sort of nearly undoes everything, doesn't he? He sort of doesn't quite clear it running back, and he ends up getting stuck between his feet. Fortunately, Ederson was out to save well at the feet of the, I think the Fulham attacker was somewhere coming in. So he very, very nearly undid everything good he'd done literally a minute later, but hey, we got away with that. 53 minutes, yeah, this is the Bernardo one I was talking about later. I got a bit confused. He sort of jinked outside the box, had two defenders on him, and sort of barged his way through and got a look at the bounce, and then obviously he played it back for Rodri, didn't he? But Rodri, again, straight at the keeper when perhaps he should have made the keeper do at least a little bit of work. 56 minutes, we go back over to Phil. It was 2-0 when Fulham tried to overplay from the back. Cavallero ran towards his defence and played a panicky pass. Anderson stretched and his pass hit Cavallero. Jesus gathered the loose ball, rounded Areola and assertively fired in his 12th goal of the season. It was fantastic by Jesus. Such a cool head. That's what we want to see more of, isn't it? 60 minutes, yeah, back to Phil again. We made it 3-0 on the hour. Tosin Adebayor, was it? Adebayor? That's what I always call him. Anyway, we'll call him Tosin. Tosin tried to overplay in his own box with a back heel that went wrong. Torres robbed him, got his body across Tosin's thigh, knocked him into him firmly and pulled him over. Yeah, he did well to win that penalty, didn't he? Let's be honest about it. Aguero fired a powerful low penalty. That's what we want to see. The goalie goes the right way, but he can't get to it because it's too powerful. That's what we like to see. Fantastic penalty into the bottom left corner to register his 181st Premier League goal for City. He hadn't scored for 14 months, did you know? I don't think anyone mentioned that. 67 minutes, Ferner on, Bernardo off. Thanks, Phil. Anyway, that's the end of Phil's little inputs, unfortunately. No more goals, thankfully, because obviously could have been for Fulham as well, couldn't they? Ferner on, Bernardo off on 67 minutes. 75 minutes, Diaz off, Garcia on. 83 minutes, last minute deflection sort of keeps City's clean sheet. I did have 3-1 down as one of my little odds bets, so I'm not disappointed. It's only pennies anyway, it's only for a bit of fun. So it rescues City. Yeah, Laporte stuck his sort of foot into block it, didn't he? But I think Ederson might have blocked it anyway if it had gone through, but he was in the right place. Ederson was okay, he was well positioned to block it if Laporte hadn't done, but a good little block from Laporte. And that's about it. I think it's 3 minutes injury time, but not a lot happened. Ref watch, Mariner, absolutely awful. He's so inconsistent. The trouble is, I don't mind a referee who lets play flow, but he just sort of let play flow when we were fouled upon, but obviously the other way around, he didn't. He stopped the game. I just thought Mariner was awful. I was going to rate him, but I'm just even not going to rate him because I think it was not quite as bad as Jonathan Moss. But I tell you, if Jonathan Moss was -10, Mariner was probably -9. So absolutely rubbish yesterday. I think the referee's just getting worse this season. I'm not too sure what's going on. Is it an effect of VAR backing them up or not backing them up? I'm not too sure. But Mariner, I don't overly mind Mariner as a referee, but I thought he was terrible yesterday. Absolutely terrible. Let me know what you think anyway, Mariner. Do you agree with me on this? I mean, it wasn't a dirty game. There was no bookings, which was great because I did have that in my little thoughts on betting, etc. But yeah, I just thought it was very, very poor, Mariner. Let me know what you think. VAR didn't come into it yesterday, thankfully, so the VAR didn't come into it, so we're all right on that one. Match stats: 3 shots, 3 by Fulham, 0 on target, 8 by City, 7 on target. That's fantastic. At least 3 or 4 of those could be done with being a little bit harder though on target. But that's not a bad stat. But that just shows, it didn't. We did enough. I mean, he sort of probably did that. He made 7 changes. He thought we could win this, but he didn't want to bust a gut doing it, didn't he? I think we sort of, you look at the stats now, possession 45% for Fulham, 55% for City. Passes, this is, I mean, not much between us. 436 by Fulham, 522 by City. That's a low one. Completion rate on passes 80% by Fulham, which is okay, but just 85% by City. That's low for City, 85%. I think you could say, I mean, though it all turned out okay in the end, I mean, you can just tell by these stats that wasn't the sort of City we know, was it? But it was a different City, and it was a City that did the job against, let's face it, not a very good team at the end of the day. But there you go. Corners, 4 for Fulham, 2 for City. Fouls, 14 by Fulham. It should have been about 24, shouldn't it? And 13 by City. Right, on to the player ratings. Mr. Bukowski's in charge of the evening news one. I'll give you my starting score 7. And I'll tell you now, not a single player got less than 7 yesterday. I thought, as I said, I wasn't overly happy with that, but it all turned out well, and they all did the jobs that I'm sure Pep expected them to do. They might have got a bit of a rollicking at half time. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure he went out. He doesn't change things, Pep, does he? So I'm sure they went out in the second half and with a bit of a flea in their ear, but encouragement as well, because obviously they sort of turned on in the second half and killed the game within a space of 13, 14 minutes. So anyway, my minimum score 7, so no one gets less than that. So we'll start with Simon Bukowski's description, then mine. Ederson didn't have a save to make, but his passes through the lines under pressure in the first half played an important role in how comfortable the game looks. He's given him a 7. I'd give Ederson an 8. I disagree. I think he did have a couple of saves to make. Not actual saves, but sort of at people's feet and commanding his area from corners and free kicks, etc. I thought it was very alert yesterday. So I'm going to give him a solid 8. I thought he did really well, Ederson. I thought Simon's underestimated what he did yesterday, I think. Cancelo, not every risk paid off, but he was dangerous in the final third. Effective whenever he could shake off the Fulham mad marking, while stepping back to defend when needed. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I thought Cancelo was okay. I'll give him the bare minimum 7. I thought it was a good standard, solid display by Cancelo. Nothing overly exciting, wasn't perfect, a few mistakes, but I'll give him a 7. Everyone's going to get at least a 7 anyway. Stones, he was commanding and stylish in the first half, bringing the ball into midfield and thumped home the openers. His prolific season continues. Arguably City's best defender 2021. He's my half-time player of the year, wasn't he? If you look at my review on that, and he's carrying on regardless, so he looks solid now for the definitely for the 2021 Player of the Year. He's given him a 9, Simon. Yeah, I'm going to, I'm not quite as generous as Simon. I'll give him an 8.5. Not flawless, as we could see after that goal, but bloody good, I wrote down here, so that'll do. Diaz, he didn't have an awful lot to do, given Fulham was so well controlled, but made sure his teammates knew exactly where they had done something right or wrong. Leadership qualities, fantastic. 7, steady leadership, I wrote here. 7 from Simon, 7 from me. Laporte looked at home on the left of the 3-man defence. He did. I thought he played quite well, Laporte. Made some key interceptions in the box and kept Mitrovic quiet all night. Well, he only came on for the last 20 minutes, didn't he? I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, okay. 7 from Simon Bukowski. 8 from me. I thought it was excellent last night. I thought he played. I mean, I think that's more or less. Perhaps if you put Walker on the right, I don't know where you'd fit Cancelo in, but that back four, I'd be happy with that. Walker or Cancelo plus those other 3 guys. I'm quite happy with that as our best defensive option. Mendy found space high up on the left wing in his first league appearance since December. Also was let off in the first half after failing to pick up his man in the box. I mean, he's given him a 6. I'm going to give Mendy a 7. I thought the fact that he's hardly ever in the team, I thought he did an okay performance last night. Absolutely all credit to him. He's kept his head up and he keeps working. So I'll give him a solid 7. Rodri, business as usual for the business student, slotting straight back into the team after a midweek rest and ensures City's middle was solid. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. I'm being, if any player perhaps deserves a little bit less, I thought it was probably Rodri. I thought it's so a bit clumsy at times, giving silly little fouls away and did look a bit lumbering. So Simon's given him a 7. I will give him a 7, but I didn't think he was that great. Bernardo, one of City's most intelligent players, occupied space all over the pitch in fluid formation, and his ball retention was integral to City's control of the match. So he's given him a 7. He's not been over generous tonight, has he, Simon? But I'll give him 7. I thought it was okay. It was certainly far better than the disaster in the last game he played. But yeah, I will give him a 7. I say a couple of things. His shooting, please improve practice your shooting, mate. Put your foot through it. At least get some power behind your shots. Torres looked rusty, unsurprising after so little football, but improved as the game went on and won the penalty for the 3rd goal to show signs of turn up. Yeah, he's given him a 6 against Simon, bit mean today. Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He's a bit lightweight. He gets pushed off the ball far too easily, but all credit to him. He kept going and he did win us that penalty, which is very important. Very clever football. That's using his brain. Jesus spent most of the time on the left wing after a subdued first half. He was live wire in the second, winning the free kick for the opening goal and earning mistakes with his pressing of Fulham's defenders. He's given him an 8. Jesus, I'm going to give him my joint highest score of the day. I'm going to give him 8.5. I thought it was okay the first half because no one really was brilliant for City that first half. But the second half, I thought it was fantastic and well taken goal. And as I say, he was lively and pressured Fulham all over the place. So yeah. My joint highest scorer. Aguero, he was another with signs of rustiness, notably which parts of his pitch to keep the ball and which to pass and goal. A goal, a penalty, and the first 90 minutes since February are all positives. February 2020 are all positive, absolutely. So he's given him a 7. I've given him a 7.5. Some nice holding of players. Scored the penalty, a fantastic penalty. More of that, please, Sergio. I thought he played really, really well considering the circumstances. The subs, Ferner for Bernardo on 66. Very little to do with the game one, but a handy run out. He's given me 6. I'm not going to mark Ferner. Yeah, he was okay, no problems. Garcia, yeah, well, I don't particularly. That's another argument, is he whether he should be playing or not. Diaz, he came on for Diaz in 75. His first Premier League action since November, so I don't see the point, but there you go. 6. He's giving him 6. I'm not going to mark Garcia, obviously. And just to finish off, Phil Banerjee's player ratings. Yeah, just a quick flow through these. Ederson 8, Stones 8, Diaz 7, Garcia not applicable, who came on for him, Laporte 7, Cancelo 7, Bernardo 8, and Fernandinho is given 7 to, who came on obviously for Bernardo. Rodri 7, Mendy 6, Aguero 6, Jesus 7, and Torres 6. So I think I've been a little bit generous with my scores tonight, but I think they deserve that considering. Well, let's face it, what Pep asked them to do. I think they did a flipping good job in the end. I hope you agree with me on that one. The man of the match, of course, it was between Stones and Jesus based on those scores. Yeah, there's no one else I don't think is going to sneak into that. Who did Phil think was probably the best players? Ederson, Stones, Bernardo, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with any of those. So there you go. I mean, he thought Stones. So yes, I just gave it Stones. Just edged out Jesus on this one. He scored when we needed it, didn't he? And he's clever enough to get in that position as a centre half. Yeah, false 9 perhaps. Who knows? As some guy said earlier on. But there you go. And here we go. The quirky stats up to Joe. Jesus has been directly involved in 95 goals in his 114 starts in all competitions for City, 73 goals, 22 assists, scoring 8 and assisting 1 in his last 10 starts. Absolutely brilliant, Jesus. Having scored just 1 goal in his first 170 Premier League appearances, Stones has since netted 4 in his last 10 games. Long may it continue. It's a new set-piece City, this, isn't it? We can score from set-pieces. Fantastic. That's what we want to see. We can defend and score from set-pieces. We're almost a finished article, aren't we? Sergio Aguero's ended a run of 13 appearances, 641 minutes of play and 24 shots without scoring in the Premier League with his penalty against Fulham, his first league goal since January 2020 versus Sheffield United 417 days ago. Well done, Serge. Welcome back, mate. In the 13 Premier League games in which both Sergio and Gabriel Jesus have started together, they have scored a combined 24 goals, 9 for Jesus, 15 for Aguero. Well done, guys. Deadly duo. Manchester City have won their last 7 meetings with Fulham in all competitions by an aggregate score of 21-0. Not bad. This is now their joint longest ever run of winnings against a single opponent without conceding a goal, which Wigan's the other one with 7 between 2010 and 13. Long may it continue. Jesus has been directly involved in 95 goals in his 114 starts. I don't think we've done that one. Please forgive me. Let's go on to Stat City. Gabby Jesus has now scored 80 goals for City in all competitions, moving to 21st in the club's all-time goal scorers charts. Well done, Gabby. City have registered their first clean sheet in their last 5 matches. I thought it would never come, ending their longest wait for a clean sheet since January 2020. City have the same amount of goal difference, plus 43, as last season's Premier League champions have points. Hey, happy days. Who's that? Who was last year's Premier League champions? I like the parade route. It starts at Anfield and finishes off at the Etihad. That's fantastic. City have now kept 25 clean sheets this season. They have only kept more in just 3 other seasons in the club's history. 18-19, 33, 2010-11, 30 times, and 98-99, 26 times. What a year that was. Sergio Aguero is just the second player alongside David Silva to score a goal in 10 different Premier League seasons for Manchester City. City are now unbeaten their last 16 consecutive away matches in all competitions, matching their best ever such run away from home, 1-14, draw 2. Aguero is now City's all-time leading goal scorer, 6 in games against Fulham, overtaking Yaya Toure, who scored 5. City have now scored at least 3 goals in a single game under Pep Guardiola for the 144th time. Unbelievable. Sergio Aguero's ended a run of 13 appearances, 641 minutes of play, and we've done that one as well. So please forgive me. I've so excited with these stats, I'm just repeating them. So that's that. That's all the Quirky Stats. Headlines at City and Fulham. City, Aguero nets in a rampant victory. Yeah, a bit over the top, just slightly. But Fulham, a nice, simple explanation of the game. No sort of excuses from Fulham. A trio of second-half goals saw Fulham lose 3-0 against top-of-the-table Manchester City on Saturday night. So as long as it's only top-of-the-table City, it's fine. 3-goal loss. Conclusions, Fulham, concentration and good defences do not put a team in the bottom 3. Despite a very well organised first 45 minutes, a very frustrating 45 minutes, Fulham were caught cold, of course, early in that second half, and that's why they're in the bottom 3. All 3 goals were from errors, I think, basically from Fulham. Not an easy running for them. We're looking at the games that are coming up. The bookies think they'll escape. The bookies having 4 favourites to go down, Fulham. I'm not so sure. It'll take some work based on what I saw today. They play some nice football, similar to Brighton. They play some good football, but poor finishing is a problem as well. And say, if you're going to have those defensive errors at key moments, which is what it was, you're going to struggle. I still think their time in the Premiership could be on its last legs, but you never know. Who knows? I mean, depends how bad other teams are, I think. But at this point in time, I think the bookies are slightly wrong, but only just to say you never know. They always think someone's going to get dragged into it, and perhaps Fulham will claw themselves out still, but they've got a lot of work to do. As for City, from dross to gloss, I'll say on this, because at the end of the day, I did tweet, as I said in the first half, that was dross, and I'll stand by that tweet. I thought it was dross. It doesn't mean I don't think we're going to improve and actually batter them in the second half. It just means that first half was dross. I mean, for people to say, behave and all that, I mean, I don't understand that. I think we did have 3 halves. Someone said we had 3 clear-cut chances. We had 3 half chances, which we didn't finish very well, and we never looked as though they were going to go in from the moment they left the City players' boots. So Yeah, I think the 7 changes and an unfamiliar system definitely took time to bed in, and I did say I expected it perhaps to bed in. Now we've played a half at that and be better in the second half. So again, it's not hindsight. That's what I said in reply to someone who commented. But yeah, I did put my fingers crossed, and it worked. Pep actually picked a team, I think, that sort of for the first 45 minutes anyway, sort of evened up things between us and Fulham a little bit. I mean, and we did need that goal to inspire us, didn't we? And let's face it, so early in that second half, it totally put us on the front foot. Then that was sort of more or less game over, I think, because you could see Fulham, the confidence just totally drained out of them, even though in that first half it would have been hard pushed to say which team was clear at the top and which team was staring relegation in the face. But say that early goal did everything for City. The confidence flooded through us after that Stones goal, and you could see it literally just fade out of Fulham, and that was a fantastic time to score a goal. And it didn't matter if Pep obviously stuck to his principles. You sort of, when we're crying out, perhaps, oh, let's change it, get some new subs on. That isn't Pep's way, is it? Whether his system's working or not, he'll stick with his players. Most times it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's what makes him a brilliant manager. He certainly doesn't panic and start changing things when he believes he has a system which is going to work. And say his plan A works usually, so why change it? I mean, but some of us are old school, aren't we? Some of us start to panic a bit, and I'm not going to apologise for that. I'm one of those. I'm a half glass full guy. I've seen, even at 3-0, I still didn't want Fulham to score because I thought we might collapse. That's me. I'm sorry. That's just who I am, and I'll never change. And say I love my club and etc. But that's years and years of watching City does to you. And obviously, some guys haven't had that, but sort of guys of my age, perhaps I'm a bit more philosophical sometimes. So it was only when he got to about the 85th minute I sort of relaxed, and that's honesty. I'm not lying. That's how I am. I think he would have given him a bollocking at half time, but pardon my French there. But then followed by encouragement, to carry on doing what you're doing and we'll be all right. And of course, it paid off. A guy on Twitter, I think this morning, said if you can't experiment when you're 14 points clear, when can you? Well, my simple answer to that is, when the title's won, perhaps we can experiment, can't we? Not just yet, but say that's again me. That's just years and years of being a City supporter and being dyed in the wall, and I love them to bits. But let's ease off when we've won it, eh? Hey, I'm not the goat of managers, am I? Let's be honest about it. But what a fantastic manager. But please, it wasn't a big game yesterday, was it? But interesting. We got to say these next 2 games, Borussia and Everton. It'll be interesting to see what team he plays. Anyway, yes, job done at the end of the day, and I think we're all happy, and I'm happy. Say from dross to gloss, in my opinion. I'm not going to change my thoughts, and I said to you before what I wrote down at half time. I'm not going to lie about it. That's what I wrote down. So we'll get there, won't we? We'll get there. But let's experiment when it's in the bag, eh? And let's not. We should be able to. Of course, we should. Yeah, I mean, in answer to that question, yes, of course. When can we? If we can't experiment now, when can we? But still worries people like me to death, unfortunately. But Pep, you're wonderful. Don't ever change, even if it gives us heart attacks. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Back with a preview of that Borussia game, of course. And I believe another raft of changes. I'll do a start at 11, but hey, I'll try and put a Pep head on, but I failed miserably last time. Please check out my recent Citizen Channel vlogs, including a tribute to Ron Phoenix, who sadly passed away over the last few days, who was at City for about 10 years from about 1950 to 1960. Please check that out, and nice, just a little tribute to Ron Phoenix. I think King of the Kidbacks are putting one together for their next edition as well, so keep your eyes out for that. And of course, there's a City. That was a week that was where we look back at the United and Southampton games. A sort of family-friendly quiz. Spot the balls. Who's this? Spot the player. Lots of different things on there. So please have a look at that. Shirt maths and all this sort of thing. So just a bit of fun for all the family, for City fans. So keep your eye out for that one if you fancy that. Thanks for joining me for this big match analysis. Fulham 0, Manchester City 3. And as we move, temporarily at least, 17 points clear at the top. Not too bad, is it? Not too shabby. Whatever you do with the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Until we meet again here on the Citizen Channel. Perhaps have a flick across, have a look at my film and TV channel. Have a rest from football for a bit. Wherever it is, all I ever say to you is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.